Welcome to Speed Round Sunday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share a mini episode from our past for your weekend listening pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode.
Now, I'm reluctant to bring up this speed round question because I think it will involve a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, that's the most disgusting thing I'd ever heard. I would never do that. What is wrong with you? So I trust that you guys, my friends, will be polite in your nose to this question, which is, have you ever fished something out of the garbage to eat it? We recently had a situation where my husband brought some muffins home from work. They were wrapped in plastic. They were, the kind of muffins you grab off a shelf at a store. And, it took us a while to get through them. There were a great many of them. And towards the end, I took a muffin. I ate half of it for breakfast, and I put the other half in a baggie to eat for breakfast the next day. My husband made a number of comments that the muffins were getting kind of dried out, and he didn't think they were good anymore. But, it was fine. It was perfectly moist. It was tasty. So the next morning, I go to look for my half a muffin, and it's not in the cupboard where I left it. And I looked around. I asked my daughter if she ate it. She said no. Didn't ask my son because he doesn't like bananas. And I thought, did that man throw away my half a muffin? So I looked in the garbage, and fortunately there wasn't much in it. It had just been replaced. There's a few things, and I dug down a short while, and there was my half a muffin in its baggie, cruelly discarded. So I pulled it out, and I rinsed off the baggie in hot water, and I washed my hands really good, and I pulled the muffin out, and I slathered it with margarine, and I ate it, and it was delicious. So is this an aberrant behavior on my part? Is this something I should not have done? My husband seems to think it was ridiculous. So has somebody ever thrown away something that you had every intention of eating? If there was like a half-open bag of ketchup chips that somehow made it into the trash, would you pull them out? Would they still be delicious?
Or is it just the hard questions, don't you?
I do. Is it just the germs of it is just too much to overcome? Perfectly good, delicious, crispy ketchup chips.
Own. And if you survive that episode, I'm really happy for you.
Thank you for letting me down gently. I appreciate that. It's not like I was dumpster diving, It was my own personal little kitchen trash.
I personally would not do that. It's just a personal aversion. I couldn't. I'm sorry. I can't.
It was in a baggie. It wasn't just
that's
loose.
Great. All the power to you. I mean, I know somebody who drinks outdated and eats outdated food. I mean, great.
We do that too.
If it doesn't kill you and you are okay with it, great. I'm already picky with food to begin with.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
And I have food issues and I have food aversion.
Okay, well, I hope I have not traumatized you by describing eating the muffin, which was moist and delicious.
I taught for, 20 years. I've seen a lot of things get eaten that shouldn't have gotten eaten. So
you own dogs too, so
yeah. Yes, dogs and lizards and cats and fish and you name it. So each their own. Okay, you do you. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Well, Catherine, help me out here. Would you ever do such a thing? Did I cross the line too far? How do you feel about that?
If it was wrapped,
it was in a baggie that was sealed.
Yeah, then I think you're within your rights. I mean, I'm definitely a 5-second rule person, and that involves food falling on the floor without a protective plastic bag. So what's the difference between a trash can and the floor if you have protective?
That is my philosophy. Have you ever done such a thing?
I'm sure I have. Yeah. I mean, if it was
husbands throw things away,
wasn't touching anything gross in the trash can, and it was a chocolate cake or something that I really, really wanted. Yes. I mean, also think about all the times when you, as a mom, that you eat your kids' leftovers, and they're slobber. I did the other day drop a peeled hard-boiled egg on the floor.
Yeah.
And I contemplated what to do next and then decided to throw it away because, I knew the floor had not been mopped in a while. So, and I knew that I had like 6 more hard-boiled eggs.
Well, there you go. You could also just like rinse it off in hot water and then give it to somebody who didn't see it hit the floor. They would never know. It would be fine.
That's like the Julia Child's method, right? I mean, isn't there a famous thing where she dropped a chicken and just continued?
Yeah, wasting food bothers me.
Yeah, I hate wasting food.
I hate it. So I am inclined to be as liberal as possible in what gets eaten, as is apparent by rooting through the trash.
I mean, rooting through the trash was a little.
Yeah, I wasn't rooting looking for anything.
I was of the trash.
I was looking to see if he had been so bold as to throw away the banana muffin he knew I wanted to eat. And he had been. He claimed that I was asleep and he knew if he woke me up to ask me, I would be too sleepy to give a good opinion. So he just took it upon himself to throw out my breakfast.